Hello and welcome to A Tinge of Ginge. Now today it's really exciting because I've finally got my first clutch of 2020. It's taken a little bit of time. I thought I was going to get them a lot sooner, but the snakes being snakes decided to do what they wanted to do, so I'm not complaining. I'm quite happy because I know I've got another two girls that are probably about a week to 2 weeks apart, so hopefully I'm going to have 3 clutches by the end of next month. Possibly even a 4th one, depending on if this girl has actually ovulated. I'm not 100% sure yet. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the drawer out, I'm going to show you what the female is, I'll quickly show you what the male is as well, just so you know what she was bred to, and then we're going to start pulling these eggs. So the male is actually in here. I don't want to disturb him too much. I have shown him on my YouTube channel before, but this is my little guy who's done the job for me. This is a Leopard Pastave. Really nice example of one. Absolutely love this guy, and he's just been doing tons of work for me. Last year he done a load of work, this year he's doing a load of work, and I'm going to have a few more projects for him next year as well. So he's currently locked up to my Mojave female. For this I'm trying to hit a Super Mojave Leopard. I think it's called an MA Smoke, I can't remember off the top of my head, but they just look absolutely amazing. They're just like a dark grey blue-eyed leucistic, so that's what I'm trying to hit with these guys. They've been paired a couple of times, so fingers crossed she will go, and then yeah, hopefully we'll have the chance of hitting that. So that's the male, and the one above here is the female, and she has literally just finished laying. I literally saw one. I think she had I thought she had 1 egg in her, but she actually had 2. So this is her. So she's a butter spider pinstripe pastel. For this pairing I wanted to try and hit a leopard killer bee. So that's the Leopard Super Pastel Spider. I'll chuck a picture up on the screen so you can see it. They look absolutely incredible, and I want to eventually try and get that into clown. If I can get that into clown, then that'd be absolutely amazing. So yeah, this is the girl. So I'm going to do this now. I'm going to pull her out, get her off the eggs, get her into a tub of water, and then we'll have a look at those eggs a bit closer. Okay, so now I've got over here, I'm going to try and get off the eggs. I'm going to try and not get bit. I think she's normally quite good. This is the first clutch she's had with me. I did buy her as an adult, so this is the first clutch I've seen her have, but I think she's going to be okay. She's normally pretty good. So what I'll do is I'm just going to unpeel that towel. Oops, give me some issues. Just try not to move those eggs. I mean, I do roll my eggs anyway. And there. You see she's completely empty. There's no eggs left in her. You know, she's got quite a few nice eggs there, which is good. So I'm just going to place her in some warm water. And while she's in that water, that's just going to give her a chance to drink. Actually, if I show you quickly now, if you see there, you can just see the sides of her mouth moving. You see there's a little bubble popping out of her nose. She is actually drinking right now. So even though she has got a water bowl in her tub, obviously she's sitting on those eggs, and the females will normally sit on those eggs until it is time for them to hatch. So that's why it's really important that when you do take these snakes out, chuck them into a warm bath, gives them a chance to have a good drink, and also it's just going to wash that scent of the eggs off of them as well. So I'm just going to leave her in here for a few minutes just while I get these eggs sorted. Okay, so now we've got the mums sorted, it's time to work on the eggs. So I've got 9 eggs in total, which I'm really happy about. This is actually the biggest clutch I've ever had. So that's made me really happy, and it just hopefully increases those odds of me getting what I want. So I like to move my eggs. I am a little bit OCD, so I do like to move the eggs how I want them. What I normally do first is I'll probably do mine a little bit differently. With a pen, I'll literally just mark the top first. Even though they may not be staying that way, I like to know which way they are actually laid up. So I'm being nice and gentle. You can see this one's quite fresh compared to this one. You can see this one's quite firm, this one's quite soft and squidgy. This is the last egg that she laid, and there is actually a bit where you can see where it's hardening. I'm not sure if it's going to be picked up on camera, but if you look at this egg here, you see this bottom section here is white, and then this top section here is pink, and there's a very faint line just going across there, and that's just where the bottom of the egg has hardened, and the top of the egg is just slowly hardening as well. So That's how fresh this clutch is. I literally just woke up, do what I normally do, come downstairs, check all the snakes, and boom, there they were. Now she's probably about 3 or 4 days early, but again, I'm not complaining because I've been waiting for these for so long. So yeah, I'm just going to carry on marking the tops of all these eggs. And again, you don't really need to do it, but it's just my own OCD. This is how I've always done it, and this is probably how I always will do it. So now that they're there, I'm going to get them out of the box, and then I'm going to start moving them around just to see where the actual embryo is. Now all I'm doing is I'm being nice and gentle with these eggs and just slowly peeling them up because they do stick to the bottom. Just take your time with it, there's no rush. My room's heated anyway, so the temperature's not going to get too low. And I actually separate my eggs. You can see this one here is separating quite easily. And just pull apart, you should be nice and gentle. Get all them eggs up off of the tray. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slow through and I'm going to separate my eggs. Now, because my OCD is so bad, I like to try and control everything as much as possible. I want to try and reduce the odds of anything bad happening. So I'm just going to slowly peel these apart, and you can see they're just slowly pulling, and there's a little bit of film there. That's not a problem, that's just where they do adhere to each other. And I'm just going to pull in all directions, just like that. So I'll go through, I'm going to separate all these out, and you can see I've got them marked. I'm keeping them that way up until I do actually move them about. Okay, so now I've got them all laid out, I'm going to candle them next. This one's a bit dirty, I'm not too worried about that. I'm just going to leave that on there. So yeah, I'm going to turn the lights out and use an LED torch. I'm going to put it on the lowest setting, just because I don't want this to be too bright. They do create a little bit of heat, and I don't want to be chucking too much light into the eggs at the start anyway, so that's just going to be just bright enough to see where the embryos are. Now this is actually my favourite bit. I love seeing where the embryos are, seeing if they are actually viable. This is probably one of the most exciting bits for me. So, okay, so you can see there, this is where the mark is on the top. The veins are all there, that's really good. Now I'm actually going to rotate it so that I can see the embryo on the top. This is how I learned to do it, so I've always done it this way. I've never had anything bad happen. I've probably had a better success rate because of it. So the embryo is just here on top. It's probably not going to be that easy to see, but it's like a little bubble on the top. There's like a little dot, and there's like a little bubble jiggling, and that's the embryo. So I know that is on the top. So once I know where that top bit is, I'll take my pen and I'll literally draw a little circle on the top, just so I know that's where the embryo is. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to do that for you. So I'm just going to quickly check. So yeah, that's got nice strong veins. Nice strong veins, good. Yep. Yeah, it's got nice strong veins. It's got nice veins. This is the fresh one. Yeah, it's got nice veins, and that's got nice veins. Perfect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through them all, and I'm going to turn them up all the right way and just mark them. Okay, so now I've got them all marked, I'm going to get the egg box out, and then we're going to place them in the egg box. Okay, so now this is all set up. I've got the consistency where I want it. It's not that damp. I can always add water to this if I need to, but to be honest, I think it's going to be completely fine. I will be ordering some more grate to go in this as well, just so I can actually get them off the egg. So I don't normally do it this way, but you've got to do what you've got to do at the time. So Now I've got these all candled, you can see how far off they were. So this is the way it was laid, and this is actually where the embryo is. So you can see it might not make a difference, but for me I like to just try and take out all of the possibilities. So that's just how I like to do it. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to nestle these eggs in. I'm not going to go too deep with them. I'm keeping away from the sides as well, just because I don't want to get any moisture from the sides on them if it does build up. And there we go, that's all 9 of the eggs set up. Now it was a bit of a tight squeeze, I will jiggle them around a little bit more just to get them in place. I do like to keep them all in the same box if possible. I don't like spreading clutches out, so I do try and fit them in. Now this is a very tight squeeze, I may have to upgrade this to another tub at some point, but for now I'm happy with that. Now what I'll do is I'm going to seal this tub, because it's not 100% sealed. These lids that I use, they aren't the best. So all I do is I just put a couple of layers of cling film over the top, then I'll press the lid down. I don't have any air holes or anything like that. I might, when I check these, I'll probably check them sort of every couple of days, and then once a week I will probably just open it up, let a little bit of air in, then close the lid back up. So I'm going to get these sealed and get them in the incubator. So what I do is I just get normal cling film, and I'll place a couple of layers of this over the top, just to help seal up any air holes that there might be in the top. Like that. Make sure I pull that nice and tight all over, and then all I do is I just chuck the lid on top. And the cling film is just thin enough that the lid will still click on, and that's just going to give me that airtight that I need. And then for now, I will get a clutch card set up for this. I'm just waiting for them to be delivered, but I'm just going to scribble on the top. So I'm just going to put clutch number 1, butter spinner, and then I'll put how many eggs, just so I don't forget. So I'm going to put 9 and 0, so this is eggs, this is slugs, and then I'm just going to put today's date, which is the 25th of April 2020. And I'll work out all the other stuff when I get the clutch cards through, so the due date, when I'm actually going to cut the eggs and things like that. One other thing that I do is I've got quite a few of these little Exoterra thermometer things. I've got quite a few of these laying around that I've had throughout the years. I've used on various different things. What I do is I actually put one of these in with each clutch box as well, just because I'm so paranoid and OCD about there being a problem that I just thought I've always put a little thermometer inside. So I do have a small hole in the side of the box. And all I'll do is I'll just place that thermometer inside, just like that. You can see it just stays in that hole, and that's just going to give me a rough idea of the temperature actually inside this box during incubation. I am looking to get a Bluetooth/Wi-Fi recorder for my incubator, just so that it can actually message me if anything's going wrong. I've been looking into a couple, but they are quite expensive, so until I find the right one, I'm just going to stick with this for now. So what I'm going to do is now I'm just going to chuck that into the incubator, and yeah, leave it to go. Now this isn't my final incubator, this is what I've been using for the last couple of years, but this will be changing. I'm going to be making my own custom one. I'm not going to be using a fridge like everybody else. I want to actually custom build it to how I want it. This is just an old Varium I've got, and it's just got a heat mat in the back, and that does everything for me. I've got a thermostat attached up to it as well, so this is how I've done my last couple of seasons, and I've not had any problems. Everything's turned out fine. I've got another one of these little thermometers here. I just like to keep that at front, so that shows me the overall temperature. And then I've got the main thermometer from the clutch boxes, which I could stand up and I can just view them through the glass just to see what temperature they're sat at as well. So yeah, I'm not going to do a video on this incubator, to be honest, because it's not really worth covering. It's probably basic. If you do want me to do a video on it, then let me know. I can always do a video on that, but you can see, yeah, it's just an old Varium. We've got 2 soul cat tortoises, and this was for one of the baby ones of them, so I just sort of went from a polystyrene box to this as an upgrade, but I will be building one eventually which will probably cover this entire wall, because I do plan having quite a few clutches next year. So that's my incubator. Okay, so she's got a nice fresh bed there. I've sprayed it down a little bit just to give it a little bit more humidity. She's got a fresh bottle of water. She's been in the tub for a little while now, a little soak. She's had a drink, so we're going to get her back in here and see how she gets on. Okay, so she's back in. You can see she's quite active, which is good. She's moving about. Obviously she is looking for her eggs. This tub's completely clean now, so there shouldn't be any scent. I've wiped the cabinet as well just to make sure there's no scent on that. And you can see she is having a good old look, stressing about a bit, so I'm not going to mess her about too much. I'm not going to worry about weighing her or anything like that. I just want to literally keep her in here so that she is feeling a little bit safer. Yeah, she's going to move around a little bit, but that's completely normal. I've seen that with quite a few of my females, and it's good that she is so active. Just shows that she has still got a little bit of energy left. So yeah, I'll probably give her a good 2-3 days just to settle in. After I've done that, then I'll weigh her just to see what her weight's at. I did weigh her a couple of days actually ago before she laid, so I've got rough weights of her. But yeah, I just don't want to mess with her too much. Just give her her own little bit of time just to settle down, get herself sorted so she feels a bit more comfortable, get over that stage of laying the eggs, and then move on from there. Okay, so this is going to be the end of the video. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I am so tired. I was working last night. I didn't get until early hours in the morning, and it's now about 8:30 after doing all that filming. So it was a really early start for me because I do have work again today. But yeah, you can tell my voice is really croaky. I've not long been away, to be honest, and coming down and seeing this was a bit of a shock. Yeah, as you can tell, she's really early, so I'm not complaining. It is nice to have the eggs finally, the first clutch of the year. Really exciting, and the next 2 clutches are going to be absolute belters, so I can't wait to get them out as well. If you do have any questions about anything you've seen, drop me a message, leave me a comment, let me know. The other 2 clutches, one's going to be a possible hypo blackhead clutch, which is going to be quite cool, and then the next one is going to be my banana clown clutch. I've been trying to hit that for a couple of years now, so I'm hoping this year is the one. So fingers crossed. And then after that, I haven't got a clue. I've probably got about 12 to 15 females breeding at the minute, so I'm just waiting for those ovulations to appear. So you don't want to miss the next couple of videos coming up. Plus, trying to ID that clutch there is going to be an absolute nightmare. I don't even know what the odds are. There's like 6, 7 genes at play, so it's going to be absolutely crazy. So I will need some help when I finally get that clutch cut. So subscribe to my channel, go over to my Instagram, follow me on Instagram because I do post updates and everything that's happening on there before YouTube. So yeah, I'm gonna jump in the shower, try and wake up and get ready for work. So I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Amber's right here. If I give it a wiggle, you can see it's slightly moving. I don't want to move it too much, but yeah, that's perfect.